Yo, what's going on, everybody? It's ShamefulPenguin here, back with another video. Today we're getting into the day 2, what I accomplished for Spectral Helix Deadeye, how we're looking, the upgrades I made, and then I'm going to give a little bit of tips on this build, because I did have someone message me confused about something, so I just want to clear that up in case anyone else has that question, because I thought I was not too hard to understand, but I don't know. I've been playing this game for a while, so some things I think that are easy to understand aren't. So it's always good to realize what some people don't understand so I can learn to explain it better. So you're seeing the build right now. I think these are like early red maps probably. I've been farming T12, T13s, T14s. I haven't gotten any 15 or 16s to drop yet, but I'm pretty confident in completing those. My build feels pretty good. I upgraded most of my gear. I think every piece of my gear since yesterday. Maybe not my shield, because my shield was like semi-okay. But most of all, I just want to get an upgrade for my claw. That's going to be my go-to thing for today. I want to get a claw that's like 400, 500 EDPS. Essence is pretty challenging this league. Like last league was challenging. This league it's maybe more challenging because they did say they reworked it a little bit. I think it's harder than it was before. And that's from a standpoint of playing this both leagues. So yeah, we're basically going to get into our build and show you what I've done. So basically I got my rings up with mana cost. I got this craft like the 3rd or 4th syndicate I did. So I guess kind of lucky. I've done about 10 to 15 syndicates, I think, maybe more. I ran the not the Katarina, but I've ran the like smaller save houses twice now, so I'm going with that. I still don't have a focus for my helmet, haven't gotten that to drop. Kind of unlucky. I feel like it was easier than the ring crafts in the past, but who knows what the roll rates are actually. I got myself a 5 link. I have Trinity on as my 5th link. Everything else is the same. Added cold, Spectral Helix, Nightblade, Inspiration. I got pretty much everything in my POB exactly saying what I would do. The only thing that I don't have going is my focus helmet, but I do have all the links I would want for my focus, and I'm self-casting it. So you can see on my bar, I have a Hydrosphere that I'm manually casting on bosses as well as Tornado. Kind of just like the clunky setup right now. When I get focus, you can cast it all in one. Makes it a lot easier, so you don't have to kind of like pick and choose where you want your Hydrosphere. You just hit focus, it goes onto the boss. It's pretty easy. Tornado kind of just does its own thing and finds enemies usually, so usually don't have to worry about that. But focus just makes it a little bit easier, so we don't have to worry about it. We get onslaught on bosses from Tornado. Pretty great. I highly recommend doing that. And then Hydrosphere just really good for exposure, because we get that nice exposure on enemies. And I like Hydrosphere a lot because we get multiple. We have cold and lightning exposure, and then our cold and lightning is my 2 highest damage types, so that's pretty good. Other than that, just normal whatever you would think on day 2, day 3 gear would look like is pretty much what I have. Just a lot of resistance on gear, life where I can get it, meeting the attribute, so I have strength and int on a lot of pieces of gear to make that int requirement. Usually you need 155 on max stuff, so if you're going to use wrath in the future, you need 155 int, but otherwise you just need to get your claw, so it's 121. And then for strength, for determination, you're going to need 155. But until you're using determination, I believe Defiance banner is the highest. No, it's not. What's the highest? Strength, increased duration. I don't know which. Oh, Ancestral Protector will be the highest once I level it up. I don't know why I don't have it leveled up. We'll start leveling that up again. But yeah, so strength, you're gonna want 155 is the magic number for both of those on the highest end. But you obviously don't need it until you don't need it. I don't know why I have a mana flask on. We're going to change that really quick. I don't need a mana flask. I'll just put on a crit flask. I'll roll it really quick. But yeah, so I could use a quartz flask instead. But we're just going to use a diamond flask just to help our DPS, because I feel like DPS is the thing that's lacking the most, especially against essence mods. Map bosses I kill them without noticing. Like I'll run around and kill the map boss while I'm still trying to kill the essence. So it's if you guys are experiencing the same thing, just know that it's the essence mods. I went into essence on my tree. I didn't get this node because this node makes them very, very difficult. But it's actually very, very rewarding because it makes them corrupted, makes them have more things. Duplicate, so you get double. Really rewarding, but I don't recommend this until you have like a really high DPS build. Otherwise, just use like the additional essence kind of stuff, or just drop essence. So I'm starting to go into expedition. Expedition is a really good way to make currency. I told you guys earlier that I was gonna go harvest. Harvest sucks in my opinion. So big sad, not doing harvest. You guys can definitely do harvest. I could be wrong. It could, like red maps, it might be really good. I've been noticing I get like around 60 to 100 of the juice. Someone made fun of me calling it juice, but you get 60 to 100 of the life force per plot on average for me once I'm doing like early reds. So that's what my average is without investment in harvest. So maybe it's okay. So that's like two small rolls per plot, 1 to 2. So I don't know. The math is maybe ending up that you need to run T16 invested maps to make it worth. We'll see. So yeah, I'm gonna finish my tree. I'm gonna get all like expedition stuff. I'm gonna do Eater of Worlds this league. Last league I went Searing Exarch pretty much the entire time. I'm gonna go Eater of Worlds this time, just to change it up. So if you go Searing Exarch, just so you know, there's a node right here, unaffected by burning ground. You're really gonna need this if you go Searing Exarch. And then if you go Eater of Worlds, doesn't really matter. You can kind of do whatever. Honestly, it's preference. It's it's like looking at your gear, what Eldritch and Searing Exarch, which one you like care for having a higher roll on, because you're gonna have more of that currency, obviously. But I would recommend focusing on one and then buying the other when you need it. That's the most efficient way to make most currency. If you're SSF, obviously you're gonna have to switch back and forth, and respec your tree to make it worthwhile, which is kind of annoying. So I would recommend just sticking with one, grabbing the rampant growth, even Eldritch Gaze, because you can mitigate the downsides pretty easily if you're smart in what you're choosing. Go up here, choose it's for acid, so you get double progress, really strong for farming the invitations, and then you can sell them. They're probably going for like a divine. They used to go for an X, so I'm assuming they're going for a divine now. And then Shadow of Hunger, so you get more altars. Altars are just more juice. So that's gonna be my strategy. I'm gonna go expedition, kind of like last league. I'm gonna go Eater of Worlds, and then I'm gonna think about what to put in later. Might do Flash Breach, juice a little bit of breach stuff. What's on the map device this league? There's Legion on the map device. It's pretty good. I might go Legion. This build isn't really great at Legion, so if I swap to some other build, I would definitely 100% go into Legion. Heist, you could sell contracts. I hate selling contracts. Other than that, I think Legion's the best thing on there, so that's something to think about. And then the last thing I wanted to go over was Trinity support. So some of you guys were questioning Trinity support and don't understand how it works, and that's completely fine. Don't feel bad. I wish I could explain it better. So the way Trinity support works, you can see my DPS does not go up. DPS only goes up when you see that wheel in the top left corner. I'll go proc it for you guys real quick. I'll show you what it looks like when it procs. See, this is unprocced. You see how it only has 2 of these? This is not getting any damage for us. Now I attack a few more times. This is what it looks like procced. And you can see this one slowly degenning, so if I get another hit with it, it'll go back up. As long as this triangle is there, you're getting the benefits from Trinity, and you get that 50 resonance or whatever. I'll just pop this real quick. And you can see how I pop it. I have like 70-80% uptime if I'm trying. Well, I have like 100% uptime while mapping and bossing. But when I'm like, I don't kill anything, I would say about like every 5 hits, it'll take my lightning damage to be the main proc. And you can see this. So make sure you go onto your Spectral Helix, click it, go to offense, and then you can see all this wall of text. So there's a lot of text. What you're going to be looking for is where it says main hand, cold damage, lightning damage, fire damage. Those are the 3 nodes. So you see cold and lightning. I don't do any fire damage. Physical damage, ignore, because we're not scaling physical damage. Actually, it's better if you don't do any physical damage, because then you can do physical reflect maps later. Food for thought. But yeah, so cold damage, lightning damage. So you're going to want 2 damage types to proc. As you can see, my bar went up with 2 of them immediately, and the 3rd one wasn't going. So what happens is, say I hit lightning damage, or cold damage is usually my top damage. So let's say cold damage is the highest proc. Then fire and lightning Trinity, the 2 little ones on the top, will be on. So it procs that resonance. But it doesn't proc its own type of resonance. So that's why I say you need 2 damage types, because then if lightning's the highest damage, then it's going to proc that cold one and then complete the little circle, and then you have your Trinity support on. So how you can tell if you're going to proc it often is like, you look at your numbers. So it's like you have an equal chance to hit any of these in between any of these numbers. So 2,376 to basically almost 4K, and then 100 to 3,172. You can see that it's very, very likely that cold damage is going to be the higher number, but there is a chance lightning will be higher. Now, if I take off Herald of Ice, you can see that number gets a lot lower, and you can see that lightning damage is probably going to be more likely. So I'd proc resonance like almost guaranteed, like not maybe guaranteed, but like way more often. If I put on something like Herald of Ice instead, I'm probably up 100% of the time procking. But Herald of Ice is too juicy for me, so I keep on Herald of Ice, and I proc it pretty much every time. The only way to do it is to test it. Just run into an easy map, just kill a bunch of things, and see what's procking, see how many times it takes to proc. But you're gonna just look at your 2 damage types. So if cold damage was higher than the highest number of lightning damage, I will never proc Trinity. So you're gonna need to make sure that the highest damage of something, of your second one, is higher than the lowest. And you're gonna want lightning damage is really easy, because you can see it's 100 to 3,000, which is a huge range. So the odds of cold are a lot smaller of a range. So say if I had like my lightning damage was like 500 to 8,000, I'm gonna proc it a lot, because that's such a huge range that the cold damage has that variance. So lightning damage is gonna shoot back and forth. You kind of get the idea. If you're still confused, I can try to make a video purely dedicated on it with like a chart or something. But yeah, so you're gonna just stare at these 2 numbers, make sure the damage you're procking, you're the highest of the secondary one, I guess, is higher than at least the lowest. And you're gonna want it. I would prefer lightning to have like even a higher cap than cold, because then it's more likely. But we're gonna work on that. Hopefully I get more lightning damage on my claw next time I craft. You could take off added cold, and it'll fix it a lot too. You could put on something like added lightning or increased crits, but added cold is such a huge damage increase for me that I'm not going to take it off, and I'm procking it enough so I don't need to toy with my build at all. So let me know if you guys have any questions on Trinity. I kind of rambled on about it. I hope you guys got a little bit of a better understanding on how to fix your build with it. So if it's not working out, added cold you can take off. You could take off Herald of Ice. Wherever I put that, you could take off Herald of Ice, and it'll help proc your other damage type. You can get a claw with a bigger roll of the other type you don't want. You could put on added lightning, Herald of Thunder. You could put on Herald of Ash. You can put added fire. There's a lot of options you can do to trick your build into working. So yeah, that's pretty much all I had to say about that. Hopefully you guys have a little bit better of an understanding. And that's all I had for the update. I hope you guys have a great league start, and I'll see you guys next time. Later.